Okay, so let's continue. The last one I want to talk about today is about fake interior, or we call the cube map or the parallax projection. So I will talk a little bit what is this means. So first, if I go to my level, I think I go into the wrong direction. Right. So here we can see there is a fake cube map for interior. So basically, what you have here is just a single plan. If I look back, it's just a plan surface, right? This is the plan. And this plan has a special material applied. It's called cubemap material. If I double click, you can see this material is basically simulate the negative space within. And this one has an image and also has a parent. So let me take a look at the parent. Right? I create this just by loading a special texture. This texture, if I double click, is basically represent four walls. The blue wall is in the front, black wall is on the back, the two red walls on left and the right, and also have ceiling and the bottom. You can also call this as a panaroma 360-degree image, right? You can do this rendering in Blender, V-Ray, any 3D software. You can produce these kind of renderings. And this image is brought in as HDR image. So in Photoshop, you can save the image as 32 bits. Then you can export it as HDR. Once you bring the HDR image in, you can set up this as no mini maps. Make sure the compression is HDR, no RGB. So this is the settings. So once you set this up, this will be treated as a special texture. Can be used for cube mapping, for skybox, other purpose, right? But it has to be HDR image. So here I can actually run Photoshop. I can show you a little bit because I think this probably are new for most of you. What is an HDR image? The HDR image is called high dynamic range image. So if I bring it here, this is Photoshop. So first thing you can see, this image is about 32 bits per channel. By default, I think a JPEG is 8. So here there's a lot of more information there. With this image, you can save as HDR. Okay. I'll have to save as a copy because I have multiple layers. Right. Then you can do HDR right here. And then you can save as a file, then you can bring that into Unreal, right? So that's how you get HDR image in. So in Unreal, I already have a bunch of images loaded into the folder. Okay, so this is the one I just showed you, and here's the two more. Okay, one is this with a lot of paintings, one is the blue glass. So you might be wondering how I made these renderings, right? The first one is actually captured just by a website using a standard 3D space box to capture the rendering. The other two is made by AI. So I will tell you a little bit how I made this with Gemini. So the process is actually pretty tricky. Let me just open it. I have recorded this as a video. So first you run Nano Banana, right? Then you load this original image. And then you give a text prompt. This text prompt basically just say, hey, I want to translate this image into an interior rendering, right? I want to preserve the geometric pattern unchanged. So you have to add some prompt to kind of log the rendering into this original, shapes. And also you can say replace the ceiling, replace the ground, adding some details, right? So you can tweak the text prompt. The whole point is after that, it generates a new image and you still have these individual walls and ceilings and ground, right? This is important. You can't just do a regular 3D perspective. For example, if you look at this one, this will not work, right? Since this one is already deviated from the original shape, this will be not kind of matching the perspective. So if you have the first version, then you can continue to tweak. So for example, I want to replace the glass with some paintings on the wall, right? So that's how you get this individual image. Then you download as a JPEG or PNG, then you bring that into Photoshop, save as a HDR image. So that's the process I used. And then I bring them into Unreal. So in Unreal, if I set up a new material, you can actually just duplicate the current one, right? So just keep in mind they are the children. These two, cube 1 and cube 2, is the children of this guy. This is original. So once you duplicate the children, I will just say duplicate, right? So this is called 3. Double click. The only thing you need to do is just check the cube maps and then load in your own version of the image. That's it. You might also notice this image actually is only take half of the image to compute the fake interior, so the left side is actually wasted. That's okay, just because the way the cube map works is it has a 360 degree, right? But we are always in front of the storefront, so we only see 3 walls instead of 4 walls. But that's okay. Just keep in mind you only have half of the space needed. Then you can simply apply this into a surface. So you just create a surface, a flat surface, and then you drag and drop to it. So I will delete this guy because I don't want to do a redundant. All right, there are a couple of tricks. So number one, make sure your text, your surface is close to a rectangular shape. The reason is if you have scaled, you'll see the box will actually not matching with the perspective, right? Because the original rendering, this is the cube map. I think if you do want to have like a very wide, long space, you could actually do a different kind of geometric shape. I think I will leave this to you. I think it's definitely doable. Maybe the blue wall should be double, right? The width. Then it will actually match with this kind of 1:2 ratio. But by default, this is 1:1 ratio. Same thing if you scale to vertical, the wall will looks okay, but the ceiling looks a little bit awkward. It's not as bad as the horizontal scale, but still you can tell the perspective is a little bit stretched, right? But again, this is up to you. You can tweak the. I think this one is actually not too bad because we only pay attention to the vertical and the corners. It looks okay, but the most realistic proportion is 1:1. Okay, so I will delete this guy, and I will show you in my rendering. I put a bunch of surfaces. So this is basically just a surface. If I move, you can see this is just a simple surface, right? And I have this as a mask. So this whole storefront is a void, and I put a surface slightly behind. So this is the same thing. If I move it, right, this is void, and I just put a surface here. This one is the same. If I move, right, it's nothing there, and I put them here. Same thing for here, right? There's nothing there. I just put wall there. For the building, I think I already showed in the last tutorial. This material actually is the other one. I think I already showed you. Has a black and white image, and this image is loaded as an opaque mask. So that basically means all the black part is void. Same thing for Rhino, right? You can apply this to the opacity. So you will see some openings right here, right? So this is controlled by the black color. By doing so, the storefront is kind of like a void right here, right? Then can fill in a fake interior. Yeah, so this is the whole process. I made this texture with AI, with Gemini, Nano Banana, and then I apply this as a cube map into this special material, which is a cube map node with some special interior cube map node here. You don't really have to do anything here. Just keep in mind, if you want to use your own version, you can just simply right-click, create an instance, or you can duplicate my already existed instance. Once you do that, then you can swap the cube map to a different HDR image. Okay. Alright, so I will say, well, I hope this will be useful for you to understand how to create this fake interior, and you can do definitely a lot of really cool details from here. Okay, I think that's it.